Hello and welcome to the Slow Ready Podcast, a casual drive into the music and culture of Goose. I'm Alex.
And I'm Mike.
And we had to get back together just before Thanksgiving to get a quick episode in today. We're hoping to start a fun annual tradition since last year's episode got so much positive feedback and discuss what we're thankful for in 2025, Goose Edition. But before we get into all of that, we obviously got to knock out the news and notes from the last 3 or 4 weeks since our last episode in our first segment called Hot Tea. So quite a bit has happened since then, shockingly, in this time off. But the big news, obviously, is the spring tour was officially announced since our last episode. They had the street team do some poster drops with the dates at Halloween, and everyone was speculating. And then about a week and a half later, Goose dropped it officially on their page. It looks like it's mostly a southern tour. They're going to start in Asheville, North Carolina on April 10th, go to Birmingham, Alabama the next day, then to Orlando, Florida for the Florida Groves Music and Art Festival. Then 2 dates in Fort Lauderdale, Friday date in Clearwater, Florida for my birthday, April 17th. I'm definitely going to that show. And then 2 dates in St. Augustine, Florida, the next 2 days at the St. Augustine Amphitheater. 2 more dates in New Orleans. And then 3 dates in Texas, in Houston, Austin, Irving, 1 night each. So how many shows are you going to try to hit, Mike?
A lot. a lot. I'm in the South, so Goose is coming to my neck of the woods. I think it's really smart of them to do the South in the spring. I don't know how many dates the South will get for summer tour, but I think definitely a lot of other jam bands have leaned into this, that it's kind of better weather-wise to hit this area around that time. So going to try and take full advantage of it. Want to hit at least Asheville through the Florida run, possibly New Orleans too, but definitely trying to get to a bunch of these. It's a really easy for me to travel to most of these shows, at least driving. So might just hit the road with Goose permanently.
The interesting thing about New Orleans too is like that's right around the first weekend of Jazz Fest usually, right? So like it's like just before that. So it makes me think probably no appearances at Jazz Fest proper, but still pretty cool to be there around the same time if you want to plan a long trip.
Absolutely.
The other big news that came out of this was Goose posted on all our socials, along with the update for the tour, that they're reassessing their TED ticketing program for 2026. There's obviously been a lot of issues with making the rail more equitable for fans, even with the lottery system and things like that. You know, it's something that is a problem in every band that you go see is kind of seen, in my opinion. But, you know, it could all be avoided if we just had folks stop gaming the system.
Yeah, 1,000,000% agree. I mean, it definitely in the jam band world, it's a bigger problem with other musical artists where there's a lot more of us that are following the band and going to multiple stops in a row. But there's definitely groups with every single jam band out there where they're just the same group of faces up front. So I think that'll still happen to a large degree. But as usual, I think this is a good move by Goose, and proud of them for, trying to make it at least a little bit more equitable from a fan experience perspective.
Yeah, it's just important to try to make it as fair as possible for folks, who don't have the opportunity to go to 30, 40 shows a year, or 10, 15 shows or whatever, like we do every year. We're very lucky.
Yeah.
Some people only get one show and they spend a lot of money for that one show, and then they get screwed over by people tarping or whatever. But anyway, we're trying to keep it positive this episode. So let's
this is
move
a
on here.
Episode.
Next bit of news. Obviously, Cotter's been gigging like crazy during the downtime in Goose's touring schedule so far. Tons of gigs in November here, and it's been fun to try to follow along. But he's got one big gig left that I'm aware of, Cotter and Friends gig at the Brooklyn Bowl on December 27th, called Cotter's Jingle Jamboree. And it's featuring Michael Goodman from Eggy, Jeremy Kaplan and Brian Murray from Dogs in a Pile. And it'll also have special guests Tama Siegel from Couch and Wolf Mask featuring Jake Brownstein. Looks like it's going to be awesome, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of the best artists that are in the scene are all there. And just want to say about Cotter, for whatever he said about he only joined this band to get drunk at Applebee's in Kansas, like he clearly loves playing the drums. He cannot take any time off, and just love this guy's energy.
No. As we're recording, he just had a big Nico Suave gig like yesterday. It's just the man that goes nonstop. It's incredible to watch, and you can see his passion when he's on stage with Goose. And if anyone has the opportunity to go to one of these gigs, I highly suggest it.
Definitely right before the Big Fish shows too, so kind of good timing if you're in the area already.
Mm-hmm. We got a few notes on Goose Miss, mostly related to like the fan scene and like the after party scene. Obviously, we got a big tease from Goose this week as we're recording early in the week, and we still are clueless about what the theme is. But got a cryptic newspaper style post from the 1700s and talk of vampires and things like that. Hopefully, we'll know the theme soon, so you all can get your costumes ready and scramble a little bit. But yeah, let us know about your theories. That'd be fun to hear about.
They are abundant right now.
They are. We've gotten a lot of messages this week since that post.
For sure.
Next up, a Goosemas Flowdown has been organized by our good friend Caroline at Rising Tide Art Studios and Margot at Fox and the Cobra. And we're lucky enough to be there, along with a lot of really cool vendors and other podcasts and community participants in the Goose scene. And that'll be taking place at the Fate Music Hall from 1 to 5 p.m. just before night 2 on the 13th of December. Please stop by. We're going to have a lot of free stuff to hand out, like way too much ludicrous free stuff to hand out.
We got a lot of swag and can't wait to see everyone and chat with y'all and sharing the Goosemas joy. So it's going to be a great, great time.
Yeah, and these flowdowns are just the best. Like, there's so much cool stuff, so much creativity, and it's just a great way to hang out with friends and grab a quick bite to eat, grab a drink, and just meet some more Goose fans.
Yeah, everyone has the best time without fail. So cannot be more excited for this.
Yep. And then the last bit I've got here, night 2 after party was announced. Pigeons playing ping pong will be at the Strand Ballroom after night 2 on the 13th. So be sure to stop by and grab a ticket if you haven't already. I'm not sure if there is any even available anymore, but hopefully if you want a ticket, you can get one.
Night full of bird-based jam bands. Love it.
Bird bands. They don't exist. The only other thing I've really got, so we already talked about the Grove Music and Art Festival, is Goose announced the official release of their headlining debut at Madison Square Garden, and that dropped on Friday as we're recording. We're recording on Sunday the 23rd, just to be clear. It dropped on all streaming services, and it's available on Bandcamp, and they also dropped a 7 LP set for $150 to commemorate the release, and the cover is super cool. It's covered in all kinds of photos from backstage and on stage at the event, and it's been completely remixed and mastered by D. James Goodwin and sounds absolutely terrific. It makes me harken back to my thoughts on the Hot Takes episode, and I could not have been more wrong then, because this release is epic.
Well, next time we do a Hot Takes, we're going to have to do, like, I don't know, Prisoner of the Moment takes or something, or things we're going to regret saying later, because we flip-flopped on a bunch of those already for sure.
Yeah. We have this year.
I totally will co-sign that opinion. It sounds absolutely incredible. I loved them releasing it on YouTube and everything, obviously earlier, and it sounded great then, but it sounds even better now. You maybe would have had a hard time convincing me before that it even needed to be remastered because it was just still so fun to listen to, but it really pays off here, all the work that D. James put into this. It sounds absolutely incredible, especially if you were at the show. I can't imagine that anyone would pass up getting this vinyl set because it looks and sounds amazing. And it's kind of interesting just that this year, both of their LP releases, their vinyl releases have been from the New York area. So like, that's just kind of interesting to me, but there's kind of really no denying that those were like the two biggest events on the calendar year for them, unless at some point they want to give us a vinyl release of Gonzo. So I definitely think they continue to make the right calls with what they choose to release to us. But yeah, absolutely awesome.
Yeah, arguably the two most unique shows overall in terms of the stage of it all for MSG and Luna Luna. But interesting point there. I hadn't thought about that, Mike. To your point too about the sound quality, like, oh my gosh, I was in the room. I must have literally burned a hole in the phone where I've been pushing the button to listen to MSG. There's no buttons on my phone, but anyway, in the glass screen, it's probably dented, and
yeah,
it sounds even better. I'm picking up on stuff I didn't pick up before, and it's just so nice to be able to listen back to such a memorable show.
Yeah, and I really don't understand how he was able to get the balance with the crowd perfect, because I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't get to hear all the crowd reactions and excitement from all the crazy spontaneous moments that happened at MSG, but you still get them while also having everything that's played beefed up and clearer. So it's the best of both worlds. Can't encourage you, if you haven't listened to it yet, to jump in there and get busy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's one of many things I'm super thankful for this year. Getting into our main topic, and I think it's going to be the show that I send to anyone who wants to like get to know Goose for the first time now, because it's just like it's got all the biggest songs, basically 90% of them, and they all
Yeah,
sound great.
it's the default for sure.
All right, well, let's get into our flow down, man. What we're thankful for in 2025 Goose Edition. And let's get started with some things that we're going to try not to repeat from last year, but we're still very thankful for this year. So, a few that I had in mind, and feel free to chime in anytime, Mike, is so thankful for the crew. You know, Andrew Getty, Marta Getty, Sam King, Naveed, Coach, Adam Berta, all the instrument techs, all the drivers. I'm forgetting people off the top of my head. Just so thankful for all of you and keeping this thing going at such a high level of quality every night. And you can see the amount of work that goes in just watching the tour vlogs, and it's every day. They're just going nonstop. It must be like 20-hour days every day. Just insane. So grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely. I had Goose Crew as well. And I mean, going even a little bit further, when you watch those vlogs, even just like how much band wrangling Sam King alone has to do to get these guys on stage. It's a full-time job corralling these wild personalities. So everyone is always just working so hard constantly, and it definitely shows up. And we're so lucky to be following a band that gives us YouTube releases, behind the scenes, couch touring on Nugs,
Mm-hmm.
also releasing shows for free on YouTube. Like, I think you said it last year, not every band does this kind of stuff, and Goose is very generous with letting those of us, especially those that have a hard time following them on the road, like you mentioned earlier, you just get as much Goose content as you possibly can, and that's great. And it's definitely because of the crew.
That's honestly a great segue into the rest of the points I wanted to make from last year. But real quick, I just had a thought as you were talking about Sam King. Do you think when she applied for the job that it had nanny on the job description? Because that's definitely a big part of it.
She has to make sure that Rick has chocolate milk. She has to do pull-ups on demand. I mean, there's a lot that goes into band manager that I didn't know about.
Wrangling the children around, like it's just
Yeah,
hilarious to watch.
she does an amazing job.
You kind of said it as you were talking about that. The rest of the points I had was just so thankful for streams of almost every single show, and so thankful for how engaged Goose is with fans on YouTube and Bandcamp and all their social media, giving us clips and full videos of songs, and how in touch they are with what the fan base wants. They really just do not miss an assignment ever.
Yeah, I think it might have been in that Ask Anything recently, which again, another cool thing that they did for us as fans. Someone asked, where are we at on MSG? And they're like, working on it. It's just like they're already on it, anticipating what people are going to want in the scene. So they're the best.
The best. All right, but let's get into some new stuff now. And how about you start with what you want to say first? I don't have anything in particular order, so we'll just go back and forth and see what we got.
Well, I'll start with my most controversial, and it's that Jeff is out of the band. And it's not for any of the controversial reasons that people have like hinted at online, but it just seems like he was very unhappy in the band. And if you don't want to be in Goose, then I'm just glad that for both parties, it's worked out the way it has, because Goose has never been in a better place, and it seemed like he wasn't very happy in the band. So I think it's a good thing for both parties, and that they can both move on and find happiness.
Yeah, it's a little more controversial than the way I would have put it, but to your point, if you're not happy, there's no sense in being here. And if there's disagreements in the band, I mean, losing two drummers in just over a year is a really tough thing. And that was one of my thankful points, actually, was just that the band can roll with the punches. So I'll just roll that in with your point.
Yeah.
I mean, losing Jeff in February, losing Ben like just over a year before that, and just continuing to put out a quality show every night is just a testament to how dedicated these guys are to their craft.
Yeah, and I mean, they're playing music better than they ever have. The continuity that they have between the four members is just outstanding, and they've just got so much chemistry right now. It's off the charts. The next
Yep.
thing that I had was just that Goose festivals are a permanent thing. Obviously, this was the first year of El Gonzo, but it worked out really well, and they're going back to Mexico next year. I don't see any reason that this isn't going to continue for the foreseeable future. From all accounts of everyone that was there, it was one of the best music festivals that they've ever been to, even people that have been to a lot of music festivals. So it just seems like they hit it out of the park on the first try, and they're only going to further improve the experience. And so it just seems like Goose festivals are here to stay. And I think that's outstanding and amazing.
Could not say it much better myself, man. That's so great to hear from everyone who went for a first year festival. Normally you hear about them being like a complete disaster, like they run out of water one day, or food's impossible to get, or the bathroom lines are like 2 hours long, or sound is bad. And everyone just says it was just a really, really great execution. Obviously there's always room for improvement, but like everyone's like, I don't even know what you'd improve. Like this was just perfect. And I'm really excited to go check it out this year, hopefully. And I really hope you make it too, Mike, because it just, every account from the festival is nothing but glowing.
Definitely. Yeah, it seems like a can't miss thing. So definitely going to do everything I can to try and get there. But what did you have next on your thankful list?
I had in all caps, we got 2 albums in 4 months, dude. And they're both absolutely excellent. 2 studio albums in 4 months. Just think about that. And they're 2 completely different styles of production, even though Mr. D. James Goodwin himself handled both of them. He produced on both. It's just absolutely terrific that you get one that's more of like that experimental sound we've heard from Goose before on Dripfield and things like that. And then we get Chain Your Dragon that is just completely true to the Goose live sound in so many ways, while expanding on it with like little Easter eggs in there, and just giving you a little bit of a different style of the live sound that we love so much. And then that's not even talking about the surprise release that was Chain Your Dragon too. Just happened to go on Jimmy Fallon and be like, oh yeah, here's a full album, guys, of all your favorite bangers we haven't released live yet. And they had just finished a tour supporting Everything Must Go.
Definitely. Yeah, it's insane. And I had that on my list as well, of course. I mean, how could you not? And I love how you said that. You said that perfect. I think that it's great that they did, the 2 different approaches that they've used for albums in the same year. I think that's absolutely amazing that you've got one that's more like Radiohead, creative out there, and then you've got one that's like, we're going to be true to our sound. And T. James Goodwin knocked it out of the park with both of those. And it kind of pivots into my next one perfectly, because I also had down that really thankful to get to chat with D. James Goodwin this year about the production of EMG. That was one of my proudest moments and one of the coolest things that came along to us as a result of having this podcast. But he was so gracious with his time and had thoughtful answers for all of our questions. And it was just such a really great conversation, and feel really blessed and honored that we got to talk with him about the great accomplishment that Everything Must Go was.
Yeah, honestly thankful for just how open he is with the community as a whole. Like we're lucky to just be a part of that, but he just seems so open to chat with anybody and everybody who has questions. And he is so thoughtful in his answers, and he really wants to make sure he gives as much information as he can and as much insight as he can without revealing anything in the future. But it's really, really exciting to have someone like that in the Goose family. And he obviously really cares about this band very, very much.
Yeah, and just one other quick thing about all the new music. We also got Torero, and they brought back Jed Stone. So, I mean, on top of the albums, just so much new music. They just do not rest on their laurels when it comes to putting new songs out into the ether. So just I love Goose's energy right now.
The Torero thing, I keep reflecting back on that every few weeks. I'm just like, it's just nuts. Yeah. They had just released this new album, and they had 2 songs they never played before, and they're like, let's just play Torero instead.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Oh, the best. My next one, I think, kind of maybe rolls in a little bit with what we talked about throughout the episode and the news and notes a little bit, but I just wanted to say it again. And I'm thankful that the band continues to blow our minds and push creative boundaries in all sorts of unexpected directions and unique experiences for the fans. Like you talked about Gonzo, very unique arts and music festival kind of mixed together on these beautiful grounds in Mexico. It's different from most of those, cookie cutter, all inclusive resort experiences you see so often. Another one, Luna Luna, we talked about briefly, like truly immersive and one of a kind experience for everyone in attendance. Goose Miss, I know this is technically last year, but that's another example. And we didn't get to talk about that at the end of 2024. So I'm going to kind of loop it in a little bit here, including Bingo Goose Miss and it being like this crazy set and feeling like you were truly in a 70s game show. And then having the documentary that just came out a few weeks ago and seeing how much work went into that and how much love and care went into it, and just, a couple of guys in the band rattling off ideas and the crew just taking action and making it truly happen is insane.
Yeah, could not agree more. They're just so creative, and they never seem to miss the assignment or miss the mark when they come up with something that you're like, well, that's really outside of the box. How are they going to pull that off? They seemingly still find a way to exceed expectations. Even if it's something that you have no idea what to expect, it still somehow goes above and beyond anything you could imagine. So they just absolutely crush when it comes to that. One other thing
Mhm.
that I wanted to note was this was another amazing year of sit-ins. I mean, all the great things that happened at Gonzo. I mean, you had great sit-ins during Goose sets. You had Goose playing with the other artists that were at Gonzo after the shows late night. Um, you had the horn guest spots at MSG and in NOLA. You had the collaboration with the Disco Biscuits in NOLA, the Jim James sit-in, which you were lucky enough to be at in Louisville. Just so many wonderful collabs, and it's really awesome to see that continue, because I know we had that on our list last year, but this was another year where it's just like they played with a lot of amazing people, and it just gosh, I forgot the horns at the Gorge. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Rick sit in with Dave. I mean, there's just all the Dead shows that Rick does. It's just really incredible to see how much they can collaborate with other musicians.
Oh my gosh, I think that Jim James in Louisville broke my brain because I just like remembered that happened as you said
Yeah.
it. It was so epic, I can't even
Yeah.
process it in my brain. Just insane. We are so lucky, and yes, there's been so many cool guest spots. Michaela Davis really sticks out to me too. You
Yes.
said it, like just so much this year. It's hard to even fathom. Preservation Hall. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like I
It's
I
a
didn't
lot.
even have that on my list, but now I'm thinking through it, and it's like I can't even process what's going on here.
All the Stuart Bogey drops ins. It's just, yeah, it's been so
Oh,
great.
so good. Let's see. I'm not going in particular order, and it's being a
Yeah.
little chaotic. So let's see. I'm thankful that the band has been showing even more of their individual personalities than even before. Like, we've been so lucky as fans for a long time to get these tour vlogs and see this band sense of humor, but it feels like it's gone to another level in 2025. Like, even things as small as Trevor doing a collab with a card store and showing how much he loves to be a collector of trading cards, or Peter talking on the tour vlog about all the personal stories that led to all the drawings on his iconic MSG outfit, or even Cotter going in on I forget what show it was. He went on some show and talked about his musical journey and how all these different artists influenced who he is now. It's just a more personal touch than we've even seen before, and that's on top of all the obvious silly shenanigans that are awesome, like the Corn God and you know everything else.
I definitely agree. You've been leading me into my points too, which has been great because I'm kind of chaotic as well, not going in any order, but you keep leading me to perfectly to the next one. Because I just had like kind of along with that Cowboy Cotter and all of his outfits, and overall just like the fun and excess and the necessary crazy Charlie Day type wild card personality that he brings to this band. I feel like it has an effect on the rest of them, and it opens them all up to kind of channel their silly, like whether it's Rick or Peter or Trevor. Everyone just feels like a lot more open and a lot more loose, and I think that a lot of that is just because Cotter doesn't take anything too seriously in the best possible way, and I think it's just made this band a lot more relaxed.
It sure has, and as you're saying that, I'm just remembering Cotter's golden speedo at MSG, and just
Yeah.
like it's always a surprise.
Who does this?
Oh, brother. Let's see. Let's make it a little more sentimental before getting back into silliness here.
Okay.
Super thankful for the fan art scene and how much the band and management fully embraces it. It's still a growing scene. It's not as big as everyone would like at the end of the day, but at the shows where there are organized events, it is awesome to see the community come together. And we see a lot of other bands, and some of them have management that are sticklers for like not allowing this kind of shit, and we're so happy that Goose is not like that and their management is not like that and embraces all these fan artists who want to share their passion about Goose.
Yeah, and piggybacking off of that, I know we mentioned it briefly earlier, but such an honor to be a part of this Goosemas Flowdown that's coming up, because it's going to showcase a lot of those people that you're talking about, a lot of the great artists, a lot of the great people in this community that showcase creativity in any number of different ways. And we're so lucky to be just a small part of that and also be included in that. But it's always an honor for us to be, associated with this community and to get to chat with people in this community. Everyone keeps raising the bar as far as like creativity and giving back, and just a willingness to support each other. And I just think it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and really quick sidebar to that too is we get questions all the time of like, when are you going to have this person on or this person on? And it's like we have a list of like 200 cool people,
Yeah.
and we have full-time jobs, and it's been so busy lately we can't even do an episode a month sometimes. So it's like we're going to get to it hopefully, but there's an excess of amazingly awesome people, and once again can't encourage going to these flow down events or even the lot scene when they have it, like they had it at the Man, when you can, because there's a lot of great people to meet.
Yeah, even at Alpharetta, there was an amazing lot scene in the parking lot, and so many great people showing up, and that was another great example for me personally of getting to see people help other vendors set up, or people that didn't even have like something to sell or weren't participating in the lot, helping people that were. So there's just a lot of um, graciousness in the community, and a lot of people that are just willing to like pitch in and lift everyone else up. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's so encouraging to see in a world that is not always the kindest.
Absolutely.
And actually, that might lead into my next point a little bit. I'm thankful for the Goons span. I know it's a controversial topic for some. I feel like most people love it, and it's so nice to see the band leaning into new sounds for them and kind of bringing that burst of energy this year. It really always is just like a burst of excitement for the crowd. I feel like at any given moment, and some people might call it empty calories, but sometimes you just need to boogie and escape the awful world that we just talked about. So, um, really great time, and I love the expression of joy, even though it is also an expression of Blade killing vampires.
Which I have to say, we were on that one first, but I 100% agree about the Goons. It definitely, I'm all about the variety at the end of the day, and it's just another genre of music that they can bring out into the improv section. So I'm all for it. If they wanted to start, bringing bluegrass elements in, I'd be for that too. Just as many different types of
Sick.
music as you can throw at me. Like I'm
More
all
Goose.
about it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Eh,
Bring on Sierra Farrell, bring on all the people that can collaborate. Like that could be a whole new genre of Goose.
Uh, that kind of loops in a little bit with another point I had, so maybe I'll just throw that out real quick too. I'm
Yeah.
realizing is just I'm thankful that no matter how many versions they've got of it, they're gonna release a new version of So Slow, Fast Slow, Money Ready. It's awesome to see, and we got the Goose version this year, and I just love that about Goose. It's so different from most bands to have different versions of the same song and different ways of different arrangements of being able to play the same song and keep it fresh.
Yeah, I'm expecting like 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about like 20 different versions of So and Slow Ready. And it's like, what version do you mean actually?
Speed Ready next.
Yeah, exactly. Piggybacking off of that, though, just like wanting to talk about the variety that I've been thankful for this year. Everything in February post bingo, the Dark Jams Bonanza that we got. I know I mentioned that on the episode with Garrett where we were talking about our favorite moments from 2025, but just February, it seems so long ago, but it's still part of this year. And it was such a magical time to be a Goose fan, especially if you got to go to any of those shows from Milwaukee through Grand Rapids. But they were just seemingly trying anything and everything that they hadn't done before. And there's just been a lot of variety overall, because then you shift to what you were talking about with the Goons over the summer, kind of dominating things. There's just been a lot of different phases that they've shifted through this year, and it's led to what I think is the widest variety from either end of the spectrum when you look at a year of music from Goose.
Yeah. No, I can't say it much better myself. The variety has been very, very appreciated, even in the face of people saying like, "Oh, songs are cropping up a little too fast at times." We're still getting a lot of unique jams and variety in terms of set listing and slotting and things like that. Like just think back to how many different openers we got for set one over the summer tour and it continuing into the fall tour. It's just awesome to see, and I think Bingo, to
Bingo.
harken
Yeah.
back to that, really changed everything in terms of how this band perceives set listing.
Yeah, it opened everything up. I think you were on that first, and when Rick admitted to it in the interview, you just have seen it more and more.
Yeah. I only got one really big one left. I don't know how many you've got left, so if you got a bunch, rattle some off.
So I just had two others, I think. Yeah, just one, getting to be both at the Milwaukee and Alpharetta Motivons. To me, they're like the two best things that Goose have done this year. So to be at both of them was absolutely outstanding for me. And then on a more serious note, I've said several versions of this, throughout the episode, but just this community and the opportunities that you and I have had to connect and chat with so many amazing people inside and around it. The continued support from so many of you has meant so much. And we are such genuine fans of this band and everyone that promotes the band that we both love. And it truly is honestly been one of the great honors in my life to be a part of this podcast. I met my partner because of it, but also just all the amazing chats we've had from everyone to, D. James Goodwin, Caroline from Rising Tide recently. But there's just been so many amazing people that we've got to meet and learn from as a result of having this podcast and another year of it. I'm just so lucky to do this with you, man. It's really been the best.
It is the best. And, even when things are like quiet, people are still reaching out and wanting to check in and be like, hey, are you guys doing all right? When's the next episode? Like, it's just so cool to see that now. We never thought we'd get more than like a room full of listeners at most, like in my tiny closet, maybe fit 6 people in there. Like that'd be the kind of room I'm talking about. But it's been awesome to see all the support, and maybe I'll reiterate that at the end. But one last point I had to your Madhuvan point was there's been so many great high level jams this year, and even though it might not be the length of jams that we're looking for from like 2019, 2021 Goose, things like that, there's not as many long jams this year. It's been a terrific year. And then celebrating all of that unique, shorter jamming in a show like Madison Square Garden, which might not have the most unique jamming, but as a celebration of like everything they've accomplished to this point, was just such a momentous special occasion. And to live up to the hype that one night could possibly have, and playing over 4 hours of music and blowing past curfew, and God knows how much they paid in fines that night, but just knocking out of the park is a testament to how much this band cares about giving everyone the best possible experience they can have. And it felt like a big thank you, along with how much other creative space they were navigating around that show, whether it was before or after it.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off all of that, I can't add too much more, but it was just super satisfying, even for someone like me that wasn't there, but saw all of the Goose haters talking about how they weren't going to be able to sell it out and it was going to be a total failure and this is way too soon for them, blah, 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 blah. And it was kind of a giant middle finger to all the doubters and haters. And it was very satisfying for me because I knew that they were going to meet the moment. And to your point, they went above meeting the moment.
Yeah, and anecdotally, like I've been to many a show at MSG, and I've been to many a sold out show at MSG, and there's always like an empty seat you can find somewhere, and there was not a single one. As soon as those lights came on for Factory Fiction, I was like, holy crap. I don't know how they fit this many people in here.
Yeah.
So epic.
There you have it, folks.
All right. Anything else before I gush on our listeners and the community one more time? Because that was my last big point.
That was all I had. I gushed, man. You gush away.
No, just one more time. Just so thankful for this community embracing us. Like, we did not expect to have this growth in about a year and a half-ish now. And even though we've slowed down, the support still continues. And, life gets busy and it's not always easy. And y'all pick us up and encourage us. And we're just here for you. Like, we're just two regular guys. We're never trying to act like we're insiders or like anything special in this community. We don't want to be treated any differently as fans, but it's just so cool to see how much the community embraces everybody they possibly can, especially within the fan art and creativity scene. It's just so encouraging in a world that's not always so hopeful. So thankful to you, thankful to everyone who sends a message and supports us, and thankful for you, Mike, because you make my life so easy as a partner on this podcast, and it could not be a better partnership.
I feel the exact same way, man. And to Alex's point, this is totally a labor of love for us. We don't get anything out of it. We just love talking about Goose and love talking about Goose with y'all. So we just do it for the joy of it. And I wouldn't be able to do it without this guy right here. He makes my life easy as well. So again, it's been one of the honors of my life to do this podcast with you, buddy. So can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for Goose and us.
I can't wait either. But in the meantime, we'll have more content coming up for Goosemas. We'll recap Goosemas after that too. And we'll have other fun topics for early 2026. We got to start thinking about our dream set list, our yearbook. Yep. Like we have a lot of annual traditions that come early in the year that we're going to continue to improve on. And we're really excited to continue that journey with y'all.
Absolutely. And super excited to boogie with a bunch of y'all in Providence, Rhode Island here in a couple of weeks. We'll have our Goosemas preview coming up here shortly, but definitely gearing up for that and hope to see so many of you at the Flowdown, like we said earlier.
Yeah, we're going to have so many more things to add to the thankful list after this Goosemas in Providence. I'm so excited. And once again, want to thank everybody who stuck with us and listened for this fun little short episode and for all our other really stupid long episodes that we just geek out about Goose. And wishing all of you a happy Thanksgiving and hope you have a great and safe holiday with family and friends. And we'll be back to preview some Goosemas here soon. Don't want to tease it too much, but it'll be a really fun episode we encourage you to check out. So thanks again for listening, y'all.
Thanks, everyone.